Let's begin with the second part again because my computer slept for a while. So we were talking about the system and talking about that the individual has to admit and accept that big part of his beliefs are not his. He just received them. He was being told from other people mm, what the things are, what it should be, what he has to do, and that's how the system is um, is living. That's how the system exists, by the people who teach their kids in their belief system, and they try to make them the same as them, and the society and every no matter political environment or social environment or religion environment, they try to make the individual the same. How was the very famous song "Another Brick on the Wall"? And if you don't want to be another brick in the wall, you have to be very strong inside to resist mm, all the opposition you have, because the people these could be even people in your family. They were raised in with certain beliefs, and they will try to make you believe in the same things in the same way, and they call that tradition. Well, if you see that a tradition is not reasonable and it's literally insane, why to accept that tradition? And if you refuse to accept it, um, you will face a big opposition, that's for sure. Okay, that's for the negative part of the thoughts that are not ours. But they're also part of the thoughts that are from God, divine thoughts. For example, every time you see a hungry animal on the street and you decide to give him food, it's a divine thought. Every time you see someone to struggle with something and you try to help him, it's a divine thought. Every time you're happy because the day is sunny, the roses are blooming, and you see the greenery around, and you enjoy the nature in the day, that's a divine thoughts. Every time you have the courage to do something good, it's a divine thought. But most of the time, the divine thought is the opposite of what the ego and the negative matrix of the mind are telling you to do. The ego will try to separate you. The divine thoughts will try to make unite you with somebody or something. The ego will say, "Oh, these animals! How many animals on the street? Who will collect them? What is this?" The divine thoughts will say, "Oh, so many animals and they're hungry. How to help them?" See, they're opposite. Ego and the negative matrix of the mind, which is a result of the collective human experience on earth, and the divine thoughts are literally opposite, totally opposite. So the divine thoughts are accepted usually as not logical thoughts, because the logic of the mind has nothing to do with the divine world and thoughts and deeds. Most of the time, divine is the opposite of the matrix of the mind. in that case, we should, how to say, we have to choose. We have to choose if to do the good things that divine is telling us to do, or to be slaves of the negative matrix of the mind and do what it tells us to do. That is the, how to say, it's like to having an angel and a devil. One angel on the one shoulder, devil on the other shoulder. That's them. It's not something else than what is in you. Your soul is bringing the divine thoughts. Your mind is bringing the thoughts of the negative matrix of the mind. And I think that big part of the purpose of life of everybody is to enlighten to change that negative matrix in the mind, to enlighten the mind with the divine thoughts of the soul. It's so simple, and at the same time it's so hard. It's really hard. Because the ego and the wounds and the environment, it's making everything possible to keep you in the matrix. Everything. We have to accept that the man is not alone and never has been alone, and it won't be. That's the simple truth. What I mean about that, there are powers, there are divine powers, there are negative forces, there are aliens, there are many forces beyond our mind comprehension that are with us all the time. We are being watched all the time. We're not alone. Feeling alone is one of the illusions of the negative matrix. Physical loneliness doesn't mean that you're alone. And even if you feel alone in the crowd, you're not alone. Something is with you that makes you be that way, that makes you be different, that makes you go against the flow, to be yourself, because some higher power wants you to bring something different in this world through you. And your ego will say, oh, I don't want to be a tool of someone else. Yes, but you're a tool of someone else all the time. You're the tool or to the negative matrix of the mind, of your mind, which is used by other people and forces, or you can decide to be the tool of the divine world and bring something positive and good to the world. Because all the good and positive stuff is coming from the divine world. So to realize that you're sleeping with your enemy, that is the mind, is a big step. To accept that this mind must be readjusted and observed too. It's also a big step. Starting the process and not stopping is a human being greatest victory. Yes, starting to realize, starting the process of observing your thoughts, how your mind is working, and what are the patterns of the thinking that makes you do such and such thing. It's really the beginning of the victory over the negative matrix of our minds, which is placed there for some reason. I have a theory for that. I don't know how many people will accept that theory, but we'll talk about this later. So, our lives are a string of events, people's actions that one way or another violate our inner peace, but we must not give up on learning how to perceive life and all its diversities so that we do not suffer or harm ourselves, blaming others for not being good. Yes, all the time the ego is blaming others. But we are the one who are choosing how to use our intellect. If we are thinking the ego is make try to make you think all the time how the another person did you wrong, what is not okay around you, what is going on, and try to criticize all the time and see all the negative things in other people, but not in your mind. And to learning how to live without harming ourselves with our way of thinking. It's a part of the process. But first, we have to realize that we really have to observe our thoughts, our minds. And at some point, you will start to make a difference between people who living in the cage of the negative matrix of the mind. They are behaving in particular way. They living in a particular way. They see things in a particular way. Most the time they see things in the very materialistic way, because the mind, the matrix is made like this to operate with the material things, also ideas and other stuff. But then let's say the negative matrix, if the mind is the lower level of the capacity of the mind, the divine part of the mind is the higher level. And on the higher level are coming spirituality, are coming divine thoughts, are coming enlightenment, it's coming good ideas, and all of this is producing good feelings and emotion in the human body and in the person. The lower level, which is the negative matrix, is operating with the negative and materialistic things. So let's say that let's say the negative matrix, it's like the devil's part in us. The low vibrational part. And if we not go above that part, my dog's reacting on something outside. Sorry for that. Oh, if we're not going above that part, we will live in the prison of the negative matrix of the mind. And I think that our life is just a process of going beyond that negative matrix, to go out of this negative matrix, to work along together with the divine world. That's the purpose. We have been created to work with the divine world. But somewhere in the process, in our DNA, someone put this negative matrix, earthly negative matrix, which is in our mind. And we always looking around and blaming others and blaming the world, blaming the government, blaming everyone else, but not seeing that all this is part of our mind. And what we have to conquer first is our mind. That's why I think in the movie Matrix, Neo has to at the end fight with himself. He understood that he is part of the problem, and he has to fight with himself. And when we are ready to sacrifice that part of us that is holding this negative matrix, by refusing to be part of the way of how matrix is working, we sacrifice that part of us. But sacrificing that part of us, it's giving us the opportunity to go higher. So it's a really big battle all the time, and it makes a lot of inner conflict in the individual until he starts to recognize from what stage he is operating, from the stage of the negative matrix, or from the higher stage, from the higher level, the divine thoughts. And when you start operating on the divine thoughts, believe me, the matrix will do a lot of stuff, the negative matrix. And the people who live in that negative matrix, they themselves will do everything possible to prevent you to reach your higher level and to start to living in that higher level mentality with the divine thoughts. Because then you will be the one who will bring the new. The moment you start to live with the divine thoughts and you are overcoming the negative matrix, that means then if all the people do that, that means the end of the matrix. And someone doesn't want to allow this to happen. And the people in the negative matrix in the mind will do everything. They're like agents of the matrix. Exactly how was the movie. They're like angel of the negative matrix. This will be people who are very materialistic, very cruel, very low vibrational, energy vampires, a lot of people who believe in the status, in the material things. They will try everything to keep you there, literally everything, and it's very hard. It's really, really very hard. But at the end of the day, we know that if we just make the effort, the divine powers will help you. Because if you even decide to get over the negative matrix, that means that you're called from the divine world to do that, and they will help you. That's the divine calling. And we have to answer in the call. That's the purpose of our existence, to answering the divine call. No matter what. That is why the divine world will help us all the time. Yes, we will make mistakes, we will be maybe delusional from time to time, we will make a lot of, it will be very hard. But all the time, the divine powers will help us. They help you through the intuition, through dreams, through divine good thoughts, through other people who are coming in your life to help you to evolve, through spiritual teachers. So they will not let you alone. We are not alone. Now I'm continuing with the book. Yes, there are many suffering people who behave badly, but we shouldn't take it personally. They simply reflect their own unconscious suffering. It's not directed to us personally. For people like that, you're just someone or nobody. They don't know you. They don't know your inner world. They don't know your soul. They just see your human form and their own idea of you. You know, that is a very interesting moment. People see what they can see, and they will see according to the level of their consciousness. If they're a slave of the negative matrix of the mind, they will see you negatively. If they're operating from the divine part of the mind, the divine world, they will see you with compassion. They will see you with love. They will accept you as you are. So that's they will react very differently. You can see very clear who at what level of consciousness is through that, how he accept you, how he reacting on you. And most of the people see like in a mirror what they have inside of them. You may be an angel, let's say. You may do a lot of good things, but if the people around you are negative, are thinking negatively, they will find flaws in your actions all the time. They will find mistakes, they will criticize, they will try to make you look like a devil or something, because that's what they are, and they're projecting their inner world on you. But you're not this. So if someone from the negative matrix of the mind, individual who is working at that level, is insulting you, don't take it personally, never, because it's only that what he is seeing. It's that his own level of perception. That's not you, and his statements don't have anything in common with the truth for you. So just ignore it and refuse to accept it. Okay, that's his opinion. That is how he can see, whatever. I don't care. Never take personally the words of people who are in the negative matrix in the mind. They cannot see what you are. They don't know who you are. They just see according to, they just see only to the point of their level of consciousness. They cannot see more. They cannot understand more. Because they're working in the matrix. They're like a program. It's just not possible. Most of the time, with people like this, at some point of their life, something bad is happening, some kind of tragedy or something, or something that they will live as a tragedy. Because most of the time we accept things in life as a tragedy, but somehow they are blessings. Sometimes they are blessings in disguise, but we don't see it in that way. Which is also proof that the way how we see it and our perspective is relating to the level of consciousness we are operating. So this person at one moment will have such a tower moment in his life. In his eyes, it will be very big slap on the face. So he will open his eyes, and he will say, "Oh, I was wrong." And he will start to have realizations about what's going on, what's really going on. Not in the way how he was seeing things, but what's really is going on. And then he will say, "Oh, I wasn't right about you. Oh, you were telling me the truth. Oh, you're not so bad." Da, da, da. You will see the change in their perspective. That is how the life is working. And that is how life is working for all of us. It's just awakening process all the time. All the life is awakening process, which is has in purpose to free humans' minds from the negative matrix. And this process is really painful. It is accepted as painful from the mind, because there are some things that are happening which the negative matrix of the mind, materialistic view, it's very difficult to accept them. So in those moments we have to realize that this is a blessing in disguise. That is the way God is helping us to go beyond the prison of the negative matrix. Yes, maybe to feel comfortable. Some people are feeling very comfortable in the matrix. They just don't know anything else. And when they receive this aha tower moment, blessing in disguise, they feel so hurt, they feel so frightened, they feel so much pain, and they accept it as a big disaster in their life. Their mind is reacting that way. But we can change the perspective and think that, for example, let's see two perspectives. For example, you have been abandoned from your lover, husband, or a mother. Think about it. All your life you accepted that as a big tragedy. You feel so much pain. You feel so insulted. You're living with that pain all the time. But let's think. If you, how to say, if that didn't happen, maybe something worse could happen to you. Maybe God saved you from something. Or maybe He removed those people because you have to continue walking on your path and grow, and they have to be removed. Maybe they were people who were preventing you from your growing process, from your awakening process, somehow, in some way. And in that moment, you can say, oh, maybe I wasn't abandoned, I was released. What's going on now? What is happening? You see? Change the perspective, change the thought, change the feeling. I was released. Wow. I wasn't abandoned. And if I was abandoned from the wrong people, I can say only amen to that. They were wrong for me. And maybe God is seeing this in divine powers, is seeing this in that way. He say, I will help you, I will release you from your prison. But you say, oh, why this happening to me? Where is God? Why he allowed this? What are the... We don't see his perspective. Our minds, it don't see God's perspective, and because they're not able still. We are evolving. If we can see God's perspective, that means that we are in one with the God energy. And if we are one with the God energy, we can't suffer. We cannot suffer because God energy is not suffering. Suffering is coming from the mind, from the reaction of the negative matrix of the mind, which is losing its grip on the person. That's the suffering. Suffering is coming from the lies of the matrix. Matrix is made from lies. They say devil is a liar. Negative mind will try to make you suffer, that you're losing something or somebody or some position, or something didn't happen. But it's a lie. The truth is something else. And most of the time we realize that truth after time. We cannot see at that moment what exactly is happening to us. The idea that life is a school is precisely that: to experience a string of events, to meet all sorts of people, to perform some actions for which we are responsible, and to learn how to perceive all this. Most of all, to learn how to perceive ourselves, then the world around us and everything else in it. It's really, that's life. That is really life. We are learning how to see the world and how to be part of this world and how to act in this world. It personally takes me a long time for all this self-education. Even though I see myself constantly being subjected to a situation, I need to learn a life lesson. Life lessons are tough, for sure. Our mind, intellect, should be our friend and ally instead of the enemy, to give us a pleasant feeling for ourselves, to treat us like our best friend, not the other way around. Yes, if we are constantly seeing ourselves and our surrounding through the negative matrix of the mind in a negative way, our mind is our enemy. Our intellect is our enemy in that way. As the Sadhguru said, something like this, it's not exactly the words, but you should use your intellect to be useful for you. You should manage your intellect in a useful way for you. If you don't have the peace, if you don't have the love, if you don't have, if you don't do things that you love, if you don't have the life that you love, so obviously your intellect is working against you. You're using your intellect against you. And that is how the negative matrix is working. The negative matrix is working against humanity because it is put there to not allow humanity to evolve. Or maybe the task is just to get over it, overcoming that matrix. And it's like we are learning here to overcome the matrix, the negative matrix of the mind. See now, the whole world out there is a result of the negative matrix of the mind. Our human world. I don't talk about the nature, don't talk about the universe and the planet Earth, but our human world, our human society now is a result of the negative matrix of the mind. And you can see that very easily. You can see how many people were suffering and suffering now, how we ruin the planet, how the humanity's organizing business and politics and economic and everything. The fact that we are living in a war, and in those ages when only clicking with a mouse somewhere can send money to someone, and still there are poor people, there are hungry kids, there are suffering animals, it's showing that this world is still part of the negative matrix of the mind. And only by people overcoming that stage of this matrix and becoming connected with the divine power, only then this world will change. It won't be the same. That will be the end of the negative negative ages, a negative era of human history. But it's a slow and very difficult process for sure. Still, it's going. See how different people are from the Middle Ages and now. Yes, we have technology, we have, I don't talk about the intellectual and technological achievements. I'm talking about the way of thinking. There are big difference from ancient times. But still, it's very hard for people to overcome this matrix and to start living in a reasonable manner. Reasonable, not in a materialistic way, being reasonable. And for example, people say, oh, it's reasonable to save money. I don't talk about this reasonable. I am talking about being reasonable in the way we live. For example, it's not reasonable to ruin the planet that you're living on. What is the point of that? Do you have another planet to go to live? No. You have one planet. You have that third planet. And you ruin it. Ah, what's the point of that? Is that reasonable? No. Is it reasonable to hate one another? No. We are one kind. So in that way I'm talking reasonable. Not reasonable by counting money and bank accounts and profit and economic things. Not that. It's a wisdom it's a divine wisdom that is not available now for the society because of the negative matrix of the mind. And also the negative matrix of the mind is preventing us to have higher level of abilities. Because why someone will give to the humanity bigger powers if the humanity doesn't reach the level in which to use these powers in a reasonable manner? See, now we have technology, and what we do with that? We use it to steal, kill, and destroy it. What is that? That's the negative matrix of the mind. She is stealing, killing, destroying, and lying. And that's the devil inside of you, inside of our minds. So your mind can't work against you with constant criticism, understatement, feelings of inferiority, feeling of guilt, fears, depression, darkness, and you can be a happy being that makes others happy. It's not possible. You cannot make happy anyone if you are not happy. It's just not possible. You will only make other people miserable. If you're miserable, you will make other people miserable. And if you are in the negative matrix of the mind, it will be only that way. It's not possible to be in another way. So yes, we may always ask for help in dealing with these conditions and their consequences. But first we need to realize that the reason for all this is in our own way of thinking. So, and the mind as a whole. It takes intellect education to work for the benefit of the Supreme Self, the soul, God, spirituality, and our emotional and physical well-being. How can this happen? With a lot of patience and love. God teaches us with great patience and love. We must do the same. Yes, awakening process and liberating process of the negative matrix of the mind, it's literally needs a lot of patience and love. Yes, we will sin, fall, slow down at times, or drift away, but life and God lead us all the way to our transformation, or the transformation of the mind and our way of thinking. Let us say that the path of intellect is a path of love and knowledge for ourselves, that we may love ourselves and others consciously. So God is not, He doesn't care about these things that we pray for Him or to Him. We pray, oh, I want to be rich, I want to do that, I want to do that. God is the only thing that He wants to see in us is change of thinking. Our thinking process to be free from the negative matrix of the mind. If you're living in the negative matrix of the mind and you're greedy, because most of the people who are living there are very greedy, and you say, oh, I want you, God, to win the lottery, I want to be famous and rich, and God will say, oh, whatever, I don't care, I will not give you that. But if you say, God, please help me to find my purpose in life and to have all the resources to work on that, God will say, oh, okay, I'll help you. That's different. Because most of the time, purpose of life is given from God. And most of the cases, the negative matrix of the mind is preventing the individual to go on his purpose in life. For example, if God made you to be a yoga teacher, but you're working in the bank system because you're paid well, you stay there and you're suffering in the system, you feel so unhappy, you're getting sick, you cannot stand to be in that environment, and you're dreaming for your yoga practice and healing other people, but you're not doing it because, and let's say, you will not have such a good salary. But if you say to God, God, help me with this, help me to go on my life purpose, I need the resources for that, He will give it to you. And if you stay there and you're suffering in the bank system and you refuse to go out of this because of the money, somehow God will do it, something to happen, and you will lose that job because you're refusing, consciously refusing to go on your life purpose. See? And then you will say, oh, what a big drama, I lost my job and my salary, da 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 da. But God just wanted to show you that you should go where you're happy. And when you do what makes you happy, because He puts that in your heart, you will have the resources. He will give you the resources. Yes, maybe you will not live exactly the way like before, but you will have everything you need. Maybe you will not become a millionaire, but maybe it's not the purpose of that, of your life, to become a millionaire. Maybe the purpose of your life is to help to people to live better, to help them to feel better, to help them to awakening. And that is how to say, then you're working along with God together, and He will do wonders for you. because you're working for the liberation of the human's minds. And that is what God is want. In the Bible, they say God wants everybody to be saved. That is why Jesus was talking with criminals, with sinners, and with people who, let's say, we cannot call holy people. They're not holy people. But he were talking with them just to show them that God is giving chance to everybody. If they will refuse to take that chance, if they make you feel bad even though you help them, leave them to God. He will deal with them. Don't go in revenge. You did your part, right? The other is just, it's depending on the level of consciousness of the people, if they are ready to receive or not ready to receive. That's all. It is also the same with us. If we are ready for the change or not ready for the change, how we are accepting the change. Our negative part of the mind will accept the change very hard. It will make you believe that some disaster is happening now and you should find a way to go back to where you have been, because you know what it is and you will feel safe there. But that's not the truth. We cannot evolve if we don't accept the change. Evolving means changing all the time. That's the evolution. Change. Let us say that the path of intellect is a path of love and knowledge for ourselves, that we may love ourselves and others consciously. That's the point of being here, the transformation, evolution, the divine path given by the Supreme Powers is a path of transformation, of change, of awakening, of consciousness by the awareness of the mind. That's all. To be aware is to go out of the negative matrix. Because we are staying in the negative matrix unconsciously. We are not aware. That's why we stay there. If our mind is critical and black looking at ourselves, it destroys us internally, day after day, with the thoughts we have. Today, after a lecture on the subject of Sadhguru, I asked myself this question. If I identify myself as a light, a soul in a body, that it is, I identify with the most wonderful that it is. If I identify myself with the most wonderful thing, why my intellect treats me badly? And the answer is because I allow my intellect to treat me badly and to speak myself badly. Shouldn't the mind understand how wonderful I am, like everyone else, and love me, to produce beautiful thoughts in my address, thoughts of compassion, understanding, acceptance? I have realized that when my mind doesn't do this for me, it cannot do it for others. Or if my mind doesn't send love to me, it cannot send love to others. Yes, if you're living in the negative matrix of, oops, sorry. If you're living on the negative matrix of the mind, you don't have love. How can you give love to others? And most of the people that are living in the negative matrix, they're thirsty for love. And when they find a good person who can give love, they will be like energy vampire. They will suck it to the end until they can. Because in the negative matrix, there is no love. And that's the difference between divine world, divine thoughts, and the negative matrix and the devil. Is there a love or not? It's the same with the relationship. If you have a relationship with a person who is operating from the negative matrix of the mind, he will be very materialistic. He will see you he will be very shallow. He will see you, for example, he will see your beauty of the face and your assets, but not see your soul, your good qualities, not accepting them. And he will not be compassionate. He will not be he will try only to use you. So we can say that all the narcissists are operating from the negative matrix of the mind. There is no love, period. And they are that way exactly because there is no love. They are suffering from the lack of love. And that's why they became negative and dark. An energy vampire. They're thirsty for a person who can give them love, who can give them his energy, who will supply them. And believe me, at the beginning, they will do everything to make this person to believe that this is mutual love. No, it's not mutual love. With the narcissist, you cannot have mutual love until they overcome their wounds, until they overcome the negative matrix of the mind in their heads. So better stay away. Otherwise you'll be hurt, you'll be burned. Yes. So if we don't have love to ourselves, we cannot give love to others. For example, we act with good for others but badly for ourselves, we do not give ourselves love, and our sacrifice for others is simply a perverse mental game of ego that you see, I'm a big deal if I do something for others, and even if I help someone else harms myself, then I self-destructing my mind still working against me and my well-being. Oh yes, it's a little complicated here. Okay, if we're good to other people but we are not good for ourselves and we don't give our love to ourselves, it's something like a sacrifice for others. For example, a whole day you're caring for everyone else but not for you, and that means you sacrifice yourself. But why you do that? Why you do that? It is because you have a problem. You don't have love. It's a perverse mental game of ego that is telling you, oh, you're great, you're such a saint to sacrificing yourself for the others all day. And that is the thinking of that kind of people. They're thinking, oh, I'm doing the best. I'm the best because I give them everything from me. No, you just don't do it the way it has to be. You cannot harm yourself and to be self-destructive and to think that you're operating from the level of the divine world. It's just not possible. Because the divine world doesn't want to for you to be sacrificed for others. The divine world just wants you to give love to others and love to yourself, because only by giving love to yourself you are able to overcome the negative matrix of the mind. You cannot be sick and tired and give love and to overcome the negativity. No, you have to flourish. You have to be happy. That is how you will overcome the negative matrix in the mind. Just by being happy. And if you love yourself, you will never accept a relationship with a narcissist or with the agent of the negative matrix of the mind. Never. Because you're loving yourself. Most of the time when you refuse such a relationship, the agent of the negative matrix will start to blame you and make you feel guilty because you're choosing yourself. And that is how you will recognize for sure that this agent of the negative matrix of the mind, that this devil's angel, this call it how you want it, this is not your divine partner, for sure. Because divine partner will be full with love and he will accept everything that makes you happy. Whatever makes you happy, he will accept that. So I will stop here and I will make next video later. Bye for now. Wish you only good vibes, positivity and divine thoughts. Bye.